Hmm. Welcome everybody, it's Christ69. Yeah, I said won't be doing videos on my week vacation off, but whatever. I just got a little bored, so why not make a video here? This is a topic about PC building. We talked about VRAM last night. Tonight we're talking about RAM. And what does RAM stand for? Is once again it's random access memory. It's your processing RAM. It's what the processor goes to do things, the functionality, stuff like that kind of stuff. Cool stuff, your functionality, stuff like that. It's what your RAM does, what it's supposed to do. And that's why we're talking about RAM today. Now, RAM is interesting because RAM can't help but frame rates or games that utilize it. I think all games utilize RAM, but in different areas. Fortnite and games of that nature, and Apex Legends and PUBG. Um, what else is it called? A game called? It's called. I was looking at it yesterday. Crap. What is it called? I forgot what to call it now. Sorry, guys. Um, it's called something else. I gotta figure out what's going on with it. um, let's see here. Yeah, Overwatch. Games of that nature that use RAM and RAM processor because processors being used more. Processing games, processor-driven games, are like that. You get a lot of RTSs, real-time strategies, are going to be heavy in RAM, heavy use in CPU and RAM because they're using the CPU more than the graphics card. But now I think a lot of RTSs now are kind of trying to tap into the RAM, VRAM of the graphics card. So that kind of goes away. But back in the day, yeah, he'd have a pretty beefy processor and RAM sticks. Most cases, you want to go dual channel because if you go single channel, you can get what they call bottlenecking. And the best analogy I can give you is take a funnel, you put it in your hand, funnel goes in there. Take a small bottle of water, and let's say that's represents 8 GB of single RAM. Let's say pour it in there, it goes through no problem because it's processing through at a normal rate. Well, let's say take 16 GB of one stick of RAM, bottle of water bigger, pour it in there. Now you have overage. Instead of spillage, you have what they call crap. Man, I'm having a hard time thinking today. A bottlenecking where the processing does not work, things do not work, and having trouble. Um, it processes slower, you have problems, glitches, or the game may even not even run properly, it may even crash. And that's what they call bottleneck. Trying to force too much information in one channel. Okay, well, let's say you have dual channel 8 GB. Let's say you have two six or 4 GB. And it's laughable, but bear with me. Now you have a funnel that has two of the same size funnels, bigger funnel. You pour, the two of the eight, the bigger one that says eight, you pour it into it. It drains faster because now you have dual. Once again, it could be a bad analogy, but if you have dual channel RAM, like 16, I started 16 GB of RAM, dual channel. My processing is always faster. Now I got 32 dual channel, but 4 slots filled. So the processing is even faster. When I click on different apps here, it loads a lot faster. I notice an insane amount of speed between loading. So I notice a vastly faster speed. Now the games may load a little faster, may not load faster. When we click on the application, it loads a little faster because the RAM has more access. But when it gets to the game, usually the VRAM inside the GPU or graphics card takes over and starts rendering and doing what it does, and all she wrote. I did a video on that yesterday, or whenever you're watching this, it's down below. That being said, though, there's many different RAMs. 16 is kind of minimum now. You can get away with 8 in some games, but 16 is kind of minimum. I have 32 myself, so 32 is considered, the you want to hit. But I put in 64 and 128. My my motherboard can hold up to 128 gigabytes. Why they only gave me 32 for six? Because they were trying to get me 64 for Christmas. Backtrack Christmas, this last Christmas year, they couldn't find the RAM stick they had before because they got discontinued. Best Buy, Amazon, they couldn't find them. So they bought me a $108 one for like $400 one, $400 for like $108. DDR4, 3600 hertz, and it's four. Dominators, great RAM sticks, right? So that being said, though, I got four slots of 8, 8, 16, 16, 32. So 8. So I all four slots working. And that's the best you can hope for, to get all four slots working. If you want to maximize your RAM as much as possible. Now, 64 and 128, you can probably go 256 if you want to. On some, DDR5 models, you can go 256. 500 won't be out of question eventually. But you're doing a lot of heavy processing. You're doing a lot of rendering, a lot of processing, editing. You'll probably use a lot of that. 3D graphing, you're probably going to use you're going to have a beefy CPU that's, bulky. It has a lot of, horsepower, a lot of hertz, and a lot of, raw power. Plus the RAM sticks, you're talking about, close to $800, maybe $1,000 stuff. And that's just in the processor and RAM alone. And I'm gonna look here at RAM here though. I'm gonna look at Amazon again. Amazon and some usual suspects here. Newegg and Amazon. We're gonna type in some things here, and maybe even Best Buy and Micro Center too. Here's Micro Center. Click on here, and we're gonna look at some time. We're gonna look at some stuff here. We're gonna look at some stuff. We're gonna take some time to look at some stuff here, and we're gonna see the best place to buy your RAM sticks. And the first up is gonna be Best Buy. It's in Clarksville for me, so Tennessee. So I'm gonna have one close by. So let's type in RAM. Uh, just type in the old RAM here. Just type in RAM. Just type in RAM. Just don't worry about what it says. It's RAM. General RAM. And there's DDR5. There's DDR4 for 119. There's DDR5 2x16, 32 gigabytes, 114. There's some Vengeance Corsair. I think it's DDR4. Yep, $64. You save, some money there. It's 3200 hertz, 6000 hertz, 3200 hertz. And then you find some good RAM sticks. You find good 3600 hertz, and that's Best Buy. They have okay. How about Amazon? I'm giving you guys a chance to look at some stuff here and really get an idea of what you're looking at and what you're gonna be going for. Amazon has some good deals too. There's some heavy ass RAM sticks. There's 756 gigabytes, 6 by 128 DDR5, 4800 megahertz, PC 384, 288 pin. Damn. 8,200 and 8,200, almost $8,300. There's like six of them, 128 per. You could literally, no, you're probably building a game. You're probably building a gaming factory or something. You're gonna buy that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I don't want Vengeance Pro. DDR4, 16 kit, 2x8, 2x8, 3200 hertz, $38. Not too bad. Corsair 54. I think Corsair is a better one to get your hands on. T-Force. I think I had these T-Force at one time. They're $38. Good one, desktop module. Remember, not bad at all. Then you go off and get more and more money. But I'm still looking at that Nemix RAM 768 gigabytes. So I lied. There is something out there like that. But anyway, though, going Micro Center now. Micro Center. Online shopping may be limited because you usually go and store and buy stuff and shop. See what they have here. Well, luckily they have a pretty good amount of RAM sticks here. They have some RAM sticks here: Patriot, Viper Steel, 64 2x32, DDR4 3600 for $124. Not bad at all. Then it goes down pretty cheaply to $54 for Patriot, 16 2x8 DDR4 3600. So, they have a lot of RAM sticks. Yeah, you even have cheaper ones than that too, though. They're a little more expensive. But like I said, RAM sticks are RAM sticks, right? Not really. Now, Newegg. Let's look at Newegg right now. Newegg. Let's type in RAM and see what they come up with. Same thing here. It's almost like Best Buy or Amazon. A little expensive, and you go cheaper down. $81 for DDR4 32 gigs, 2x16, 3600. Desktop, $81. There's other ones too, $62, a little more. T-Force, DDR4, 3200. You can get it probably in red, I guess, too. You only want it in red. It's 124 for some reason. It's probably because it's a higher grade. Yeah, 64, 2 with 32, 32, 124. So yeah. Stuff here, is Corsair Vengeance, 96 gigabytes, 312. It's 4 by 24 gigabytes, 288 pins. That's DDR5 RAM. So it depends on what RAM you're going for. But if you're going brand new, you kind of know what you're looking for. But the best place I would go to would probably be, if you don't have a Micro Center, you're gonna have to shop at Best Buy. But even then, it's like I don't know if out there or not. I would probably go to Newegg and or Amazon if you don't have a Micro Center in your town. I'm hoping we get one in Clarksville, Tennessee eventually. Because we're getting Dave and Buster's here later this year. They're building at the mall, close where I live at. So it's kind of cool. So hopefully get a Micro Center here eventually, and it's a good thing we do because we need one. We need one closer to not Nashville because pothole city, but I mean if you're gonna buy a RAM for DDR4, you can get some for $38 at Best Buy or Amazon or Newegg. DDR5, you can always buy the 8,000, the $8,300 one. That's all one. I think goes on. Micro Center. It's I think 768 gigabytes. DDR5. I think like 4,000 hertz. I think like 200 and something pins. Like a stack, I think of four, a stack of six RAM sticks. Gigantic thing. They're RAM sticks for DDR5. 768 gigabytes of RAM for $8,259 or $99. Man, you're building your own PC at that point in time, and you're building gaming rigs and selling them at that point in time, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's what people are probably doing. Toasty Bros probably buy stuff like that because for them it's cheaper to buy stuff like that. But it's $8,000, a lot of money. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? So you could buy the 700 gigabyte, cream of the crop DDR5 stuff, or you can buy, stuff that's going to be good enough for you. But I get why people want RAM because, frame rates matter. I'm doing good boxing, but with your RAM sticks, the bare minimum I would go is probably 16. They'll say, yeah, some games say 8. But you got to understand that 8 gigabytes is going away. 32 is becoming the norm and 16 is becoming the minimum. So, yeah, you could be the guy that buys a 700 gigabyte the RAM sticks for $8,000 and have RAM for the rest of your life. I don't know why you need 700 gigabytes, but whatever. Probably doing a lot of 3D rendering. Probably doing a lot of 3D rendering with graphic design, probably. Let's hope he ain't playing Battlefield or Call of Duty on that, because that's like, shit, dude. I mean, he ain't using a gigabyte. In certain games, like on Toasty Bros, they showed one game. They had like a DDR5 with like a $500 or $800 RAM sticks that were damn. And they're playing Halo. I think it was a 4090 in it. It was pre-built that they bought, and the RAM stick needle didn't move. It said zero. Didn't even move. It was just sitting there. Frame rate was like damn rocketing, but the needle was it may got 1%. They're guessing it probably had a 0.5% usage of RAM. That's just too much damn RAM. No, it's like a 7,000 or like a $7,000 gaming rig. I'm like, you have 8 grand worth of RAM sticks you can buy at Micro Center, so you're kind of, you know, if you're building a gaming rigs to sell, you're gonna make your money back if you build them good enough. But RAM sticks are one thing that the people go too cheap on or too expensive on. If you're building for gaming, the gaming you need is 16. But I always say go 16 more, 32. Because like me, my sister, my brother-in-law, they both have 32s. And they have all four rung now, like I have all four being used now. And it's good. I have AI cooler that made a lot more space because I can get rid of that big old cooler. But it's easier because now I have plenty of room to see my graphics card, but also my processing and my thing. But also, I'm utilizing all my RAM sticks. I know some of your guys' RAM, some of you guys' a motherboard only have two, minimum two. There's a cheap one they have one. I wouldn't buy those for nothing. You just like go and not buy that. So buy at least two RAM sticks. And you can add 32, 64, 128, or 768. You need that kind of damn stuff. But why are you buying a cheap ass motherboard? You can buy $8,000 RAM. It just boggles my mind. It's like I worked in a warehouse store for the longest time. This kind of side note here though, people are buying. I buy $2,000 worth of lumber here every day, and they get mad when they gotta have to spend 25 cents to get a cut. Like you're spending all this 10 grand a year here, and you can't spend 25 cents. Like, makes no damn sense. It's like going with the processor. You get a big ass 4090, and you got an i3 processor. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? You bought a 4090 that can fist through anything, and you're buying a small little, a little engine. It's like putting a GL Metro engine into a Corvette. It's stupid. You have to equal it out. So that's why when you get RAM, you want to have enough storage, enough RAM capacity, not really storage, because random access memory, just in case your graphics card like mine is not up to snuff with games, it's still go over in the RAM. It's not so worried. So when I'm playing games, I know I'm about 45-50% RAM usage. My random access memory, not my VRAM, that's about 80%. So my RAM is using a pretty good amount. So my processor is sitting at Battlefield probably 45-50%, maybe 60%. So everything is around 60 to 80% being used. So across the board, it's pretty hunky dory. So it means that it's utilizing everything perfectly, where it's not forcing one thing to work more. Now my GPU is going to be 100% anyway, because games like the only time it didn't happen when I had 1080p display, but with a higher display and 165 hertz monitor at 2K, yes, it's going to be and I can lower down other settings to get it dropped down a little more, and I have done that, so it does work. But I like custom things like that old full sweet flavor having 2K water I'm looking at while I'm running across the battlefield or Halo, or whatever I'm playing. But that's something that needs to be discussed on your own. Is 16 gigabytes of RAM decent? It is, but I would go probably highest hertz you can. You can go 4,000 hertz, 3,600 hertz. I'll probably go with that. But if you can get 32 at 36 or even 3,200 hertz, that's decent too, because you want to have more gap between the bottlenecking. So how RAM works is, like I said, earlier in the video with the funnel analogy. Take a small bottle of water, and you take a funnel, and you make that your RAM. Okay, this is your RAM funnel. Pour the water in there, it goes through. Hey, it's only one stick. Say it's 8 GB. Okay, take a bigger bottle of water, say it's 16, pour it into the same funnel. You have to slow it down because it's working harder and working harder than it can. But let's say you get a funnel with two of them, two funnels, or a bigger funnel. Say that's dual channel. Pour water in a bottle of water, it goes straight through with no problems. Because now you're not bottlenecking anymore. But when we get to bigger games, let's say the bottle of water is the games, you go from a 12 ounce to a 64 ounce, 128 ounce. Yes, you're going to have to lower settings. It means you're going to have to lower the settings. I mean, you get the port just right to get it to go through where you don't have bottlenecking. Because even if you have 4090 playing games like Cyberpunk 2077 on, on Insanity, whatever graphics is called, you get getting a whopping 12 frames per second. You had to lower it down. Of course, we all know the game wasn't optimized 100% for it, so that's understandable too. Because you have 24 gigabyte card, there's no damn way in hell you should be at 12 frames. Not when you're spending, not when you're selling your kidney to buy the damn thing. So that right there is, I call BS on that one, but because it wasn't 100% optimized. But I think we're getting to the point now because I got a 24 gigabyte, 20 gigabyte card, it's going to run it great. Not really. Games nowadays have a lot more woo woo than they used to. So what they used to have was different. Now that they have games that are so damn real, you can turn on the damn game in certain areas. The game almost like an 8K monitor, and they do have them coming out, by the way. And TVs have them too. Or you look at a TV and say Best Buy, and it's 8K. You almost like you're looking outside a window. That is what we're going towards. So we're gonna have graphics cards with 32 gigabytes of VRAM eventually. 8 gigabytes is going to be considered the 4 gigabytes eventually. So no, I understand that. But I did a video on that yesterday, so you can watch that video later on to get an idea what I feel about 8 gigabytes VRAM and up. But the RAM sticks, you can get away with 16 for a while longer if you're willing to sacrifice certain things. Like I said with graphics card, if you have a 6800 XT, 3070, 3080 and up, TI version, obviously, you should be okay with 16 gigabytes. But I always go 32 because 32 to me is the sweet spot to have because you have plenty of room in case if you get a game like Hogwarts Legacy and Last of Us Part 1, Part 2 comes out, and it's just just as demanding as the first one, just as demanding as the first one is. Then you're gonna have to have a realization that okay, I got to turn down settings or increase my RAM somehow. In most cases, like my story, what happened? I got new RAM for Christmas because the RAM they're trying to get from me to make it 64, they didn't have it again. I didn't sell it, and Amazon didn't have it. The exact one needed it. I needed the exact same RAM. If I got RAM that was one number off difference, it would literally my CPU bill go, okay, Mark, what the hell do you want me to do? Because I know I can only access one of these. But when I got a stick of 4 and it cost $380, I only got, and my sister got for $105 on sale. Thank you, sis, for that. Pretty awesome. Now all 4 channels are used up, all reading the same numbers across the board. Yes, it's only 32 gigabytes, but it's being spread out. So when I click on apps, YouTube or game apps, it loads a lot faster because the processor can access it and send it to the RAM and send it through. So essentially, and I do notice change. You'll notice change going from 8 to 16, single core, even dual core. If you're going single core, 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, you might notice a little bit faster. But if you go from 8 gigabyte single to 16 dual, like 2 8s, yeah, you'll notice a lot faster because the processor can keep up more. But my biggest problem is, and my worry is, a lot of people are hooking, a lot of people their rope and their latch, and hooking it to this boat called 16, and they're setting sail with it, not knowing that it's Titanic they're sitting to, and eventually it's going to hit that thing called, oh shit, this game is a lot more than 16, and down you go. And that what bothers me, 'cause a lot of people are hitching their wagons or their boats themselves to boats or wagons, saying this is where I want to ride on. They're on a you know stencil, disaster waiting to happen. I'm not saying 16 is bad now, no. I'm saying read the room. If you're gonna buy a game like Hogwarts Legacy that requires, say, 16 gigabytes of VRAM to function properly, you might want to get a little more than 16 gigabytes of RAM, just in case. Because if you have a 10 gigabyte card, 12 gigabyte card, or 8 gigabyte card, you're going to run into issues. So upgrading the VRAM, upgrading graphics card is probably the first thing I would do. Cheapest one to do would be RAM, obviously, in certain things. But RAM sticks going up too. RAM sticks going up too. I noticed that RAM sticks has gone up about maybe $10. Certain areas, maybe $20 in some rural areas. And the $8,000 microphone you can buy, they fly off the shelves. But people will buy it if they can, if they can afford it. And it's your money. You blow what you want to. But like I say, guys, it's really up to you what you want to do. And I feel that RAM is something that's not less, a lot less talked about. Do you need 128 plus? If you're doing a lot of 3D rendering, maybe a lot of the video editing, a lot of multitasking, yes. If you're doing gaming, 32 would be good enough for you. 64 would be the maximum I would go. That's why I wanted extra RAM stick to go to 64, but 32 is just fine. It's gonna last me a long time because I got a 3070. It can be more of a bottleneck than my CPU or my RAM right now. So I have a bottleneck right now. It's called my GPU. Even though 3070 is faster than 6700 XT that has 12 gigabytes of VRAM on paper, but during games, you see 6700 XT 12 gigabyte card just kicking the crap out of the 3070 because it has 4 gigabytes more. Even the 10 gigabyte card version, I think 6700 XT has 10 gigabytes. I think it does. I don't know if it does or not. Quote me if I'm wrong. But I do believe that we're seeing a thing now where RAM and VRAM are going to be pretty much almost the same, identical. If you ain't got a 16 gigabyte card and 16 gigabyte or 32 gigabytes of RAM, you can't play this game. Battlefield 7, rumor mill is that it's going to be a game that's going to require probably a 3090, 3080 Ti to actually run recommended settings. That tells me A, it's going to have a big gigantic screw up again, or B, it's going to be one of those games that require a hell of a lot of processing power, a lot of VRAM to play it at optimal settings. Now, what's optimal settings? Is whatever is it what it's whatever Nvidia throws at it. The money they cost for 4090, or is it how much you can afford? What's optimal settings? People are still rocking 1080 Ti's and 1080 Ti's out there, and 780s and 980s. So people are still rocking these things because not because they don't want to buy it. It's because maybe they can't because their rig is literally at the limit where they have to buy a new rig. And right now, 8 grand with the RAM sticks or 768 gigabytes of RAM for almost $8,500 to them doesn't seem like a feasible plan. And buying 5 grand with a pre-built is not a feasible plan. And maybe they ain't got a lot of time to build like they did when they built the first rig. So the feasible plan is to wait and hopefully the fairies above smite down something so make the price cheaper. But I will recommend the Intel card if people are looking for a cheaper alternative. Intel cards are good, but don't get your hopes up on them. AMD is now being threatened by the Intel cards because they finally figured out that Intel finally figured out that updates do work. By the way, graphics card anyway, drivers do work when you update the damn things. So games working better and better and better and better. Hardware Legacy is running almost at optimal levels on Intel. I think it's 770 16 gigabyte card. It's still less performance than the 3070, but it's going to be because it's not designed to go against 3070. It's designed to go against AMD. No, Intel's not stupid. They're not going to go against a juggernaut like Nvidia. They'll get turned into turn the mashed potatoes. So what they're going to do is go against the smaller one first and build themselves up, then go against Nvidia. But their card doing a lot. People, I had a friend of mine who finally bought one, 770. He likes it. There's little issues with the driver update. He had to sit there and play with it for a while, but once it got in there and started working, a few restarts later, working fine. And he was a green guy for the longest time. He was team green. He was like me, very irritated at the fact that he couldn't find a graphics card decent price. Of course, no, he had an Intel. He had an Intel, I think 11 gen or 10 or 12 gen. He had 11 something. So I think 11 or 12 something. So it wasn't brand new, but it was still powerful enough. So for him personally, doing that was better for him. But that what I'm saying, guys, is that the many variables that go into RAM sticks. And I think if people really understand what they're looking at, it's a lot more than just, well, I'll pop this RAM there and then magically overnight my game work better. No, it don't work that way. I'm sorry. No, you can't magically eat one carrot and then tomorrow I'm gonna be I'm gonna be in cover of Fitness Weekly. No, it ain't gonna happen. Sorry, folks. I ate one carrot and some broccoli. I'm not gonna be Arnold Schwarzenegger lifting up tons of weight and getting movie deals. No, it ain't gonna happen. Years of practice and weightlifting and going out and doing stuff that requires that kind of stuff. Man, make a little bit of juicing too. But but the point being is, but the point is, folks, you have to have all your variables together. And I think the biggest thing to me personally is your processor and RAM are important, more so than your graphics card, because you can run most games on 6060 Ti if you want to lower down a little bit. So your RAM stick is important for a lot of the minimum requirements. If you get 2060 Super 2060 12 gigabyte, you should be all right for a while. 3070, you're all right. But your RAM has to be on par. Because processor RAM is going to help you in the end. I mean, personally, guys, your processing RAM is going to be interesting. So I'm going to say, guys, in closing, just look on there. If you're a DDR4 person, upgrade your RAM maybe one more time, two more times before you go DDR5. Hey, great. If you're DDR5 guys, how's the battle there finding this stuff? How's the battle going? Trying to find these prices, DDR5? Because it's still insane out there. But DDR4 no cheap either. So I'm telling you. But guys, any comment below? How much RAM do you rock? Is it 8, 128? Or you're one of those guys that bought 760 gigabyte RAM for $8,000? Because if that's the case, then damn. But hey, maybe you got a factory going on in your garage and you're building PCs or whatever. And that's fine. Like I said, it's fine. It's your business. But do what you want with it. But like I said, though, it's whatever you want to do. But yeah, comment down below. Have a discussion about this. What RAM you rocking, and what's the most intensive RAM music game you have or have played? Comment down below. That way I can have a discussion, so I know where to take the video next when I go next time. Next time we're going to talk about something a little different. It's going to be processors. And which one, the best one, should you get the latest and greatest or stay with the older one? And why is AM4 still around? AM4 was die 5800X3D and it's still rocking with 5700X3D. What's going on? Do research on that. I'll talk about probably next week. But I'm on vacation, so if I don't make a video tomorrow or Tuesday, you guys have a very blessed day. I went to church today. Yesterday was a great service. Had a great time. I prayed for all you guys. Prayed for myself as well. So you guys be good out there. Be safe. And I'll see you guys out in the battlefield. Peace out.